Problem series 4.1 based on laws of motion and contains 10 questions. Difficulty level of the questions is low. First question is assertion and reasoning type. Statement 1 says it is easier to pull a heavy object than to push it on a level ground. This statement is a true statement because if an object is placed on the surface having the mass m, then weight acts in downward direction, and if force is the pull, then it is also acting in outward direction at an angle of theta with the horizontal. So component of these two, this vector f is f cos theta in horizontal direction and f sin theta in vertical direction. And a friction force will act opposite to the force. This is the small f. If we balance these forces, we will find that in vertical direction, mg is equal to f sine theta. This is the force in upward direction plus a normal reaction of the ground on the object. It is n. So normal reaction n will be, in case of the pull, will be n equal to mg minus f sine theta. So friction force will be equal to mu n. It is the product of coefficient of friction multiplied by the normal reaction. So it is equal to mu into mg minus f sine theta. That means the acting force f cos theta will experience a opposition force due to the friction, which is mu into mg minus f sine theta. If the object is pushed, that means force acting on the object at an angle of theta, then the component of these forces will be inward. This is f cos theta and another component is f sine theta. Weight mg is downward and normal reaction on the body due to the surface is upward in vertical direction. So balancing these equations, we write n minus f sine theta. This is the net force in upward direction and balanced by the downward force, this is mg. So normal force will be mg plus f sine theta and the friction force F will be equal to mu n, that is equal to mu into mg plus f sine theta. And this friction force, because external force is f sine theta in horizontal direction, so friction force will be in the opposite to the applied force, this is F. Now if we check the magnitude of the friction force F in both the cases of pull and push, in pull this friction force is lesser than the push. So we can say that it is easier to pull a heavy object than to push it on the ground. So this statement is true. And another statement is the magnitude of the friction force depends on the nature of the two surfaces in contact. It is also a true statement. And this statement 2 is not the correct explanation of the statement 1. So we can say answer of this question is B. That is, statement 1 is true, statement 2 is true, but not a correct explanation of the statement 1. Question number 2. Statement 1. A cloth covers a table. Some dishes are kept on it. The cloth can be pulled out without dislodging the dishes from the table. This statement is true from the law of inertia, which is the Newton's first law of motion. And as per this law, the object has a tendency to retain its position or state of the motion or a rest. Statement 2 is the for every action there is a equal and opposite reaction. It is also true, and it is the Newton's third law of motion, or we can say it is a action reaction law. So from these two statements we can say the answer is B. Both statements are true, but statement 2 is not the correct explanation of the statement 1. When a person walks on a rough surface, the friction force exerted by the surface on the person is opposite to the direction of motion. This is a false statement because the friction force applied by the surface will be in the same direction of the motion, because if person tries to move in forward direction, it push the ground in backward direction. This will be the action, and due to this action the ground give a push on the person in forward direction. This is the reaction of the ground. So it is the in the same direction. Question 4. A simple pendulum with bob of mass m swings with an angular amplitude of 40 degree. When its angular displacement is 20 degree, the tension in the string is greater than mg cos 20 degree. This is the swing which has suppose at the moment angle 20 degree as per question. Then if we mark the forces acting on the body or pendulum bob, it is mg is the weight of the bob, t is the tension in the string. If we resolve the mg into perpendicular component, then it is 20 degree. This component is mg cos 20 degree and another perpendicular component is mg sin 20 degree. Now the bob has the circular motion, so net force towards the center of the oscillation, that is the point from which the string is tied, is T minus mg cos 20 degree. It is the net force and it will be equal to mv square by r. This is the centripetal force. So tension in the string will be mg cos 20 degree plus mv square by r. Therefore, this T is greater than mg cos 20 degree when the angle is 20 degree. So the statement is true. Question number 5. A reference frame attached to the earth is, there are the four options, one or more may be correct. We know earth rotates about its own axis, also revolves around the sun. Due to these motions, earth has accelerations in its motion. So an accelerated frame is not the inertial frame. So option A is the incorrect option. It cannot be inertial frame because of the earth is revolving around the sun. That is, it has a acceleration motion. So it is the correct option. Is an inertial frame? It is also the wrong. And cannot be inertial because it is rotating about its own axis. So it is also the correct option. So option B and D are the correct option. Question number 6. Two identical trains are moving on the rail along the equator on the earth in opposite directions with the same speed. They will exert the same pressure on the rails. It is a false statement. The pressure will be different because earth is rotating about its own axis with say velocity v dash and train moves with velocity v. So in one of the case the velocity are in same direction, so net velocity will be v plus v dash for the train, and in another case it will be v minus v dash of the train. So centripetal force will be m v square by r, where r is the radius of the path, and in another case the centripetal force will be mv minus v dash square by r. And this centripetal force is provided by a friction force F, and if on a circular path train is moving on the path of radius r and velocity v, so we know this has a friction F inward, and this friction force is equal to mv square by r, and this friction force is the mu n, where n is the reaction of the earth on the train, that is mu into mg. Mg is the weight of the train. It is equal to mv square by r. So we can say this pressure on the rail is due to the weight of the body, or we can say it is a normal force. So normal force in first case is mu n1, and in another case it is mu n2. So normal n1 is larger than the n2. Therefore, the pressures on the rail will be different in these two cases. Question number 7. Two forces P and Q of magnitude 2F and 3F respectively are at an angle of theta with each other. If force Q is doubled, then the resultant get also doubled. Then angle theta is. Here we use the formula R square equal to P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta, which is derived in the law of vectors using the parallelogram method. And in this first case, R square is equal to, first is P, that is 2F, so it is 4F square. Q is 3F, so it is 9F square plus 2 into 2F into 3F into cos theta. This is the first equation. Second equation is if Q is doubled, resultant get also doubled. So it is 2R whole square is equal to 4F square plus now Q is doubled. Q is already 3F, so it is become 6F. That means it is 36F square plus 2 into 2F into 6F into cos theta. Angle is kept same and we have to find this angle. So we divide equation number 2 by 1. It will be simply 4 equal to these two on adding gives 4Tf square plus and this is 24F square cos theta divided by in first equation that is 13F square plus 12F square cos theta. This implies that this F square is common and get cancelled. So 4 is equal to 40 plus 24 cos theta divided by 13 plus 12 cos theta. This is equal to taking the cross multiplication 52 plus 48 cos theta is equal to 40 plus 24 cos theta. So it will give 12 equal to minus 24 cos theta. Cos theta is equal to minus 1 by 2. That means theta is equal to 120 degree. So option B is the correct option. Question number 8. A particle is moving along a circular path with the constant speed 10 meter per second. What is the magnitude of the change in velocity of the particle when it moves through an angle of 60 degree around the center of the circle? Suppose the particle is moving in a circular path and at any instant the particle is at point A and after moving the 60 degree angle its position becomes B. Velocity has the magnitude same, that means 10 meter per second, 10 meter per second, and now we have to find the change in the magnitude. So for subtracting the velocities, that is the change in vectors will be vector B minus vector A. So we draw both the vectors from the same point. This is the vector A, this is the vector B, and angle between these two vectors will be 60 degree. And the vector A is of the magnitude 10, vector B is of the magnitude 10 meter per second. Because these two sides are equal, angle between these two vectors is 60 degree. So vector VB minus VA will have the same magnitude as the individual vector because these three sides forms a equilateral triangle. So option B is the correct option. Question number 9. During a paddling of a bicycle, the force of friction exerted by the ground on the two wheels is such that it acts. So we have to check the direction of the force on the front wheel and the rear wheel. If we consider the cycle, this is suppose rear wheel and this is the front wheel, and pedal is connected to directly to the rear wheel. As per the question 3, we have checked that for moving the forward, the person has to push the ground in backward direction. So push by the person on the ground is the action, and because of that action, a reaction is get in the opposite direction and person able to move. In similar way, when bicycle is used and we pedal, the force is applied, that is the action is applied on the ground in the backward direction on the rear wheel. So there is an action of the ground on the rear wheel and it is into the forward direction, and because of this bicycle start to move, and because of this motion this front wheel also try to move in forward direction, so friction will act into the opposite direction, that means in backward direction. Therefore we can say in option 1, in the backward direction on the front wheel it is okay, and in forward direction on the rear wheel, so it is the correct option. Question number 10. A mass of 10 kg is suspended vertically by a rope from the roof. When a horizontal force is applied on the mass, the rope is deviated at an angle of 45 degree at the roof point. If the suspended mass is at equilibrium, the magnitude of the applied force is. So question is, this is vertical direction, and in equilibrium the object which has the mass 10 kilograms, so 10 g is the weight applied in vertical direction, and tension in the string T is along the point of suspension, and a horizontal force F is applied. If the suspended mass is equilibrium, find the magnitude of the force. So in that condition, angle is given by 45 degree. So we resolve this tension into perpendicular components. One is T cos 45 degree, another is T sin 45 degree. And because the object is at equilibrium, therefore horizontal force get balance, F equal to T sin 45 degree, and vertical force also get balance, tan g equal to T cos 45 degree. So dividing equation number 1 by 2, we will have F by tan g, that is equal to T sin 45 degree by T cos 45 degree. T and T get cancelled. It is tan 45 degree and dot 45 degree is 1. So F equal to tan g, and g is given 10 meter per second square. So we multiply by 10. So it is 100 Newton. So option C is the correct option.